All right, we are going to learn about how to use a 3D printing pen, and this particular one we're using is the Scribbler 3D pen. To begin using your 3D printing pen, you need to plug it into the power source. In this case, I have an extension cord. You take the power cord and plug that in, and then take the other end of that cord, plug that into the 3D printing pen. And once that's plugged in, you'll see a yellow LED light. That means it's in preheat mode. It does need to heat up before you... Now that the pen is preheating, you need to make sure it says ABS. That's the type of filament that we're using. You also can go ahead and press the feeding button. When that happens, it will turn red. When this light turns green, that means that it's ready to use. You can see the numbers increasing. Alright, the light has turned green, which means it's ready to use, so we need to load the filament. The filament is the plastic that's melted, and that's what we're drawing with. You can see I have several different colors of that filament. I'm going to go ahead and start off with black. The way that we use this is there's a hole at the end of the 3D printing pen right there. That's what we're going to feed the filament into. So you take your loop of filament, find the end, I have the end here. I'm going to press it into the hole there, and then while I have it held into the hole, I'm going to press the forward button, and it begins feeding the filament in. It takes a little while before it comes out, but if I hold that button down, eventually the plastic will come through and you'll see that it's starting to melt. Now when I begin printing, I want to make sure I have it on the right speed, and this slider button right here is for speed. If it's pushed all the way up, it's going to come out really fast, and that's a little hard to control. So I'm going to turn the speed down. If you turn it down all the way, you can see it comes out very slowly. If I turn the speed up about halfway, comes out at a more comfortable speed. Now when the filament first comes out, you never want to touch it because it's very hot. But after about 3 to 5 seconds, it will cool enough to be able to grab. But you still don't ever want to touch the tip or the this great part right here. Now I would say the most difficult part of using a 3D pen is getting it started. When you first begin, you want to hold it down to your mat or your paper to get a little bead of it to stay, or else it'll stick to the pen. So I'll try that again. Making sure the pen is clean. Push a little bead of it to the mat, and you see I can lift up from there, but it did come off of the mat. Now I could continue drawing from here. I could hold it down. Now I'm letting it cool a little bit so that it will stay out three-dimensionally. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down flat so that I can complete the box. Alright, now I've drawn a square. I'm going to go ahead and draw up from my square. I still have it connected, but you could always go back and make a little bead and connect it from there. And again, I'm holding it up so it will cool in this position. If you let it go right away, chances are it will probably just fall over. Begin to make this 3D structure. I'm going to go ahead and try and connect it, make it into a pyramid. Just making a little bead at the bottom there and going to connect it up here. Okay, same thing down here, making a little bead and then drawing upward with it to connect. It kind of looks like a soccer goal post. Unload the filament when you are done, because that filament, if you leave it in there, can harden and clog your 3D printing pen. So what you need to do is take the end of the filament spool, take all that extra filament, put it aside so you have the cut piece, and then you need to go ahead and press the extruder button so that it feeds all the way through. See, it's gone through there, and then I'm just going to keep feeding it until nothing else comes out. Alright, and it is empty.